Won't it be Ryan the Great? And today, talking about the Eagles lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You guys already saw the stream. I was crying. It was a damn shame. I've never cried on stream before, but that's the first time. If you guys were there to see it, great. It was one of my best streams I've ever done. I really appreciate everybody who was there. But we're going to get right into it. But before we get right into it, guys, make sure you subscribe with post notifications on. Go subscribe to my Brother in the Great Vlogs. Go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cod Great. And make sure you follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So I was going to post this video, film this video yesterday. I really didn't have a problem talking about it. It's just a shame that they lost. But this happened. Your boy has a clear fracture, broken right thumb. Did it playing football. It's a shame. So for the next 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe a little longer, you guys will be seeing me in this brace. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. So starting off with the Eagles, obviously we always start off with Jalen Hurts. What a game. I mean, I really do have to say, if the Eagles won, he no doubt would have won Super Bowl MVP, completing 71% of his passes, throwing for over 300 yards and a touchdown. Was able to escape the pocket whenever he wanted, and 70 rushing yards to back that up, and also 3 rushing touchdowns, tied for the most in Super Bowl history. It's just a shame that the defense could not get the job done in the end. Hey, 35 points in my book is a clear, that's all. Most of the time, that's going to get you a victory, just not in this game. Miles Sanders, what a disgrace. I mean, there really was nothing that he got going. 2.3 yards per carry. I mean, he looks scared to run through the defensive line. Just run through Chris Jones, my brother. I mean, it's obviously hard to do, but have some faith that you're going to get some blockers upfield. I mean, and almost giving up a touchdown off that turnover. That was pretty bad. Thank God it was called back. Gainwell, nothing much. I mean, you didn't do any better. Only 3 yards per carry. He did pick up some key first downs. Boston Scott, he only got 3 carries, so I'll let him off the hook on that one. Our receivers, A.J. Brown, I mean, he played his ass off. He had the 45-yard touchdown, was unstoppable slant comeback routes. I mean, he could have literally made up his route on the freaking spot, and he would have been able to do anything. He was unstoppable, unguardable, just like I said he was going to be. I mean, 96 yards and a touchdown and 6 catches is always great. Devontae Smith, I mean, I've been saying it all year. One-on-one, he is unguardable, and I really just proved it there. 3 catches on the first drive, crossing routes, comeback routes throughout the whole game. Definitely deserving of the most receiving yards in the game. And that 45-yard catch that ultimately ended up for the Eagles to tie the game definitely helped. Put some hope back into our hearts, but unfortunately that was ripped out of our hearts a few minutes later. Quez Watkins, I think it's time to draft a number 3 receiver. I mean, he did absolutely, positively nothing. It's time to draft Jigma, Addison, Quentin Johnson, somebody, because Watkins is not getting the job done. Dallas Goedert had a good game, a quiet 60 yards. He picked up some key first downs. He was, doing that all season. We didn't really see him out much throughout the playoffs, and he did a really good job this game. I give him a lot of credit. The offensive line was good on pass protection. They only gave up 2 sacks, and this year they have been known to give up a lot of sacks to a good defensive line, and this was a great defensive line. Kansas City did have a good scheme of rushing someone from the linebacker spot as soon as somebody picked up their man, being the offensive line people. But they were able to make it work. Obviously, Jeff Stoutland, a god as an offensive line coach. The run blocking was mediocre, but I do think the running backs could have made something better out of it, so it is what it is. The defense. The Chiefs ran laps around the defensive line, whether it was through the pass or through the run. First, we talk about the run. I don't know what happened. It just seemed like whatever guy that was covering the A spot, the A gap, just couldn't figure out how to cover it. Cox, Hargrave, Sue, they just couldn't fill the A gap. They were just getting dominated, and they were the less aggressive team, and they just got overpowered. I really don't understand. Pacheco just ran right through the gaps the offensive line was creating. The Eagles really didn't give them that much of a challenge. And the pass rush, I mean, that was so bad. The 3rd most sacks in NFL history, they couldn't get Mahomes once. All right, I mean, are you absolutely kidding me? The interior line was shut down so Mahomes could see everything and everything, anything and everything. Found Kelce and Juju way too much, and the interior line had nothing to say about it. And the ends, I thought the switch between Sweat and Graham was going to work, but Orlando Brown must have had some great cardio because he didn't get tired at all. I thought Hassan Reddick was going to have just as good of a game as last game against the 49ers, or even a better game because he's going up against I can't think of it. The weak link of the offensive line in Andrew Wiley, but he had an awful game. I mean, there were some times where I thought he was going to, maybe get some momentum because there were some glimpses of some pressures, but he never really led to anything. T.J. Edwards, I thought this was his worst game of the year. He couldn't even get within 10 yards of Kelce, and even, oh my God, I remember when Kelce made him fall. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing, man. Yeah, and on the running attack, there were some occasions where he was literally just standing there in the middle of the field. I don't understand what he was doing. Kazir White, sometimes I forgot he was on the field. So that's all you got. That's all you got to know. The secondary, I'm not going to put any blame on them because it's pretty much Gannon. And then we'll talk about the holding call after. Jonathan Gannon. I'm very glad you got the Cardinals job, my brother. But what the hell was that scheme? You ran man when you should have been running zone, especially in the second half. I didn't see Gardner Johnson or Maddox even close to Kelce in the slot. Kelce was in motion just about every play, and you had no, backup plan for somebody to guard Kelce. And the red zone defense, they ran the same plays every time, and on the goal line, you never adjusted, no matter what. It really didn't seem like he cared. This with the little motion play to Tony and Sky Moore. He never covered the ends on the goal line. He just ran man. I guess he just thought they were going to go over the middle. If they ran it once, I'm not sure why you wouldn't want to try and cover it so they don't do it again. It really doesn't make that much sense. But I don't know. The holding call, I'll talk about it. I'll say this. I don't blame the refs for this game. The call didn't make the Eagles lose. It just sealed the game. Now, I really don't think it was holding because earlier in the game there was a pass interference call or holding call, whatever you want to call it, that should have been called, but it was a no call. I even said it on live stream that they should have called that, but they didn't. First, Juju was not past 5 yards. You're allowed to make pretty much as much contact as you want within 5 yards, and there wasn't even that much contact to begin with. You can make that sort of contact where you hold, you kind of just put your hand on his back and maybe just a little bit of a tug. I really didn't see that much there to warrant a call. Now, we could go back and forth saying whether the ball was catchable. If you don't think that, when he put his hand on his back, that was holding in itself, then, saying the ball was catchable and they should have called it, it kind of just, that argument's kind of just destroyed right there. And it kind of just further validates my point. And also, I think that, this let the players play crap, I don't like that. If there's a call, there's a call. You got to call it. I just don't think it was warranted there. The bottom line, it's a shame that, I think an all-time great performance from your quarterback. I really do think that Jalen Hurts might have one of the best Super Bowl performances in history. It went to waste. He definitely would have won Super Bowl MVP if the Eagles won that game. There are some big moves that the Eagles have to think about this offseason on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. And we've already lost both our coordinators, so there you go. We got to find a way to pay Jalen Hurts somehow. Next, we move on to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes didn't really, pass that much in the first half. I guess it was his ankle or something like that. But in the second half, he was lights out. He only threw the ball 24 times and was able to complete 75% of his passes. That's amazing. I don't know if he was deserving of the Super Bowl MVP, but he's Patrick Mahomes, so they're going to give it to him. I thought maybe Kelce could have gotten it. He did have 80 yards receiving and had a touchdown. I thought he could have been deserving, but of course they were going to give it to the quarterback. Pacheco, 5.1 yards per carry, ran right through the Eagles' defensive line, was able to turn on the Jets for most of the time because he had so much space in front of him. And if it wasn't for Gardner Johnson on a few occasions making a nice tackle, he would have had over 100 yards and maybe more than just one touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster and Kelce, they were pretty much everything. It really else was nobody receiving the ball. No one could guard Kelsey, although I do think that was just Jonathan Gannon's stupidity more than anything. And Juju, he came up really big in the second half. It really felt that he had more than like 60 yards or whatever he had. It really did. The defense, I really don't think they were anything special. They couldn't guard Brown or Smith, but they did shut down the run, except for Hurts. And they were able to do enough to win. So it is what it is there. Bottom line, pretty much all you can think about right now is dynasty for the Chiefs right now. You don't know if Eric Bieniemy is going to leave, but obviously that matters. But it's not going to. I don't know if it'll hurt much on the field just because Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame coach and he'll be able to find someone, or if he calls the plays himself, I don't think it'd be that bad. But with no free agency yet and not knowing who people are going to sign with, it really is hard to see the Chiefs not repeating in the Super Bowl, unless you want to talk about Cincinnati and Buffalo, but we have to see what they're going to do in the offseason. I mean, Cincinnati could have beaten them, but the unnecessary roughness call definitely hurt them. But that'll do it for this video, guys. I hated talking about this. Pray for your boy that I get better. Make sure you subscribe and post notifications on. Go subscribe to my Brother the Great vlogs. Go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cod Great. And make sure you follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. This is hard. This is weird. Peace.